And so, January has passed in a flash and we're already on to the second month of 2026, being February. And as for this month in Project Sekai, we do have a few things to cover as always. Before we get into the new stuff, I do want to remind everyone that the 7 Deadly Sins collaboration is currently ongoing as I record and publish this video and will be available until February 7th. And in this case, I really hate being right, as I have mentioned several times across several different videos that we did not have the Aku no Tensei collab confirmed, and therefore it could be coming way earlier to EN, Taiwan and Korea. So this is yet another reminder, as long as a collaboration event or collaboration rerun is not confirmed on EN, Taiwan or Korea, they could be A, never happening on the server at all, B, happening later than they did on the Japanese server, which would be a perk, or C, which is the most likely, be coming early to either one of these servers. So keep your crystals in check if you're interested in any of the collaboration events upcoming. And I really hate to do this warning, but I have to. You should expect this to be your final opportunity to pull from the Memories of Wrongdoings gacha for a very long time. And that is if we're very positive in that gacha returning for a third rerun, which I personally highly doubt, as I didn't even think we would be getting this second rerun. But with all of that cautionary stuff out of the way, let's get into the actual monthly showcase, starting where we always start, the birthdays. And this time around we have 2 birthday children, 1 girl and 1 guy. Starting us off is Kanade with her birthday live show on February 10th and the birthday gacha starting on the same day and running all the way until February 16th, with her card being of the cute attribute. Our second birthday child is Kaito, who has his birthday live show on February 17th with his birthday gacha starting on the same day and then running all the way until February 23rd, with Kaito's new card being of the happy attribute. Due to her cute attribute, Kanade currently has no future usability as it stands on the Japanese server. Meanwhile, with Kaito being a blank/unitless card, he has future usability in 6 upcoming events. So, as I always do when I cover blank/unitless Virtual Singer cards, I will only mention if his card is of a lower gameplay value for the event in question to make this go by a little faster. The first event Kaito will see using is Sheer With My Heart that will run from the 23rd of May to the 29th of May. This is followed by the event Deeper and Deeper that will run from July 7th to July 13th. While Kaito isn't available through the event gacha, this event is tied to a Bloom Festival, where Kaito is a Bloom Festival exclusive card, meaning he will be able to grant a 70% event bonus for this event if you pull for the Bloom Festival card in question. After this, he will see use in the event Competitive Fire that will run from July 31st to August 6th. You can then use him in the event Reaching Out Towards an Untiable Tomorrow that will run from the 22nd of August to the 28th of August. His final event in 2026 is Heartbeat that connects us together that will run from October 11th to October 19th. And Kaito has already seen use once during 2027, being Knocking on a Dream That Never Wakes that will run from January 11th to January 19th. So Kaito definitely is a strong card when it comes to the future usability of events during 2026 and 2027, especially considering how few happy attribute blank Virtual Singer cards there are in the game. But not to ramble on about that, if you prefer the first year, the second year, or even the third year birthday cards for either Kanade or Kaito, they will be available through standalone gachas going live alongside the new birthday gacha. But as always, these are standalone gachas, meaning you cannot get the first year Kanade in the fourth year birthday gacha and vice versa. So if you're planning on pulling from any of the 8 birthday gachas available during February February, make sure to mark the date as birthday gachas do not stick around for very long. And make sure to check in on the game during February 10th and February 17th so you do not miss Kanade and Kaito's birthday live show. However, with that we can move on to the rerunning gachas. And of course, ever since October we have gone from 3 rerunning gachas to 2 rerunning gachas, one having their first rerun and the second one having their second and final rerun before the gacha itself is discontinued and the cards join the Recollection Festival gacha pool. And the first gacha we will be encountering in February is the first rerun of the Photogenic Valentine's gacha, being available between February 7th and February 16th. Which is of course very fitting, having the Valentine's gacha from last year coincide with Valentine's Day this year. And available in the gacha is of course Haruka, Kohane and Ena. And this gacha of course has its second rerun already confirmed on the Japanese server, which was in September of this year. This of course means that the second gacha we will encounter is the gacha having its final rerun, being Under the Eternal Bells, that will be available between February 26th and March 7th. And of course in this gacha is Kanade, Honami and Emu. So if you wanna pull from the Photogenic Valentine's gacha but you do not currently have the crystals, you can wait until September of this year. However, for Under the Eternal Bells, this will be your final opportunity before the gacha is discontinued and the cards join the Recollection Festival gacha pool, meaning you will have to wait quite a long time before you can snag these cards again. So keep that in mind and mark the dates if you're planning on pulling. But with that, we can move into the paid gachas. And in February we actually have quite a few paid gachas available. The first gachas we will encounter is 2 different costume gachas. The first one being It's Back February 2025 costume that will be available between February 4th and February 15th. In addition, we will also see the 2026 Valentine's costume gacha that will also be available between February 4th and February 15th. Pulling from either one of these gachas will cost you 3,000 paid crystals and will get you a guaranteed 4-star as well as an exclusive costume. The permanent gacha pool for both of these gachas will reach until the event Power of Regret. And each gacha will grant you a unique costume that is available for both men and women, as well as come with 4 different alternative colors for both genders. After this, we will encounter the Lunar New Year celebration. During the celebration, we will encounter the Lunar New Year campaign 10 pull gacha. This is yet another ticket gacha, meaning that you have to buy a Lunar New Year's gacha ticket from the crystal shop. Considering similar paid gachas, the ticket will cost somewhere between $2 and $5 and will get you one 10 pull that does not even have a guaranteed 4-star. So great value all around. In addition, we will also see the Lunar Festival Streetwear Costume Bundle. This costume bundle will come with a female version and a male version with 4 alternative colors available. However, this is not a costume gacha, meaning you will get both costumes for 3,000 paid crystals and nothing else. No 10 pull and no guaranteed 4-star if you decide to go for these costumes. With the final paid gacha we will encounter being the February pick list that will be available between February 23rd and March 4th. This is a standard pick list, meaning that you get to pick 10 cards from the permanent gacha pool up until the event Power of Regret and then make a 10 pull for 3,000 paid crystals that will guarantee you get one of these 10 picked cards. Nothing special, just a standard pick list. Which leads us into the logging campaigns. And with Valentine's Day just around the corner, we will have a logging campaign as well as a Valentine's virtual live show. Both of these will only be available between February 14th and February 15th. Participating in the logging campaign will get you a chocolate box, energy refill, a stamp, and 100 wish pieces. While participating in the virtual live show will grant you a new Valentine's title as well as another 100 wish pieces. So make sure to at least pop into the game during February 14th so you do not miss out on these small rewards. And in addition, we will have a Lunar New Year's login campaign, however this campaign was not finalized when they sent the Colorful Corner announcement. The Lunar New Year's login campaign should be available between February 17th and February 28th, just like the other Lunar New Year campaign parts. And referencing similar login campaigns, I'm personally expecting us to get around 800 crystals and a few large energy cans. However, since this login campaign was not finalized during the Colorful Corner announcement, we have no real way of knowing what is actually included and how long you have to log in, but do be aware that somewhere around the 17th of February you will have another login campaign to look forward to. So keep your eyes peeled for official announcements so you can make sure that you log in for however many days are required to get all of the rewards tied to this Lunar New Year's login campaign. Finally, as an additional miscellaneous note before we get into the major events of February, the SANRIO collaboration event has been confirmed for a second rerun on the Japanese server. The first SANRIO collaboration rerun will be available between February 5th and February 19th. However, as we've already been shown, collaboration reruns can happen way earlier than expected on the English, Taiwanese and Korean servers. So personally, I'm giving us like 2 weeks before we get the rerun here on EN. Sarcastic yapes aside, be aware that this rerun has been confirmed for the Japanese server. And while it hasn't been confirmed on EN yet, there is a big possibility that it comes over to EN and it comes way earlier. So if you're someone who missed the first run of SANRIO or you are looking to complete your set, be aware that this collaboration could show up at any time on EN. And there's a big possibility you won't even get a heads up, so start saving your crystals now if you want to get the SANRIO collaboration cards anytime in the near future. But with that, let's get into the major events of February. Starting us off is our first More Jump unit-focused event of the year, Rise and Strive, that will be available between February 10th and February 18th. Rise and Strive is a happy attribute More Jump unit-focused event, with the gacha being called Stay Determined Gacha, that will be available between February 10th and February 20th. And these are the 3 new permanent cards being added. We will then see the event Yesteryear Read-Aloud that will run from February 20th to February 26th. This is one of our few mixed events during 2026 in the cute attribute, with the gacha being called Witch-Woven Tales that will be available between February 20th and February 28th. And in the gacha are these 3 new permanent cards. Finally, we have the limited event of February being Connect Heart Message that will run from the 28th of February to the 8th of March. This is a mixed event in the pure attribute, with the gacha being called Eternal Combat Guardians that will run from the 28th of February to the 10th of March. With these 3 new limited cards available in the gacha. So that covers everything that's happening in February for Project Sekai. I really think January passed by in a flash, and February is a lot more well stacked than January was. However, I personally still can't get over the handling of the Akuno Tensei's second rerun of the Memories of Wrongdoings gacha. I think that the entire situation is a massive fumble from both Colorful Palette and Sega. Not only in their lack of communication, in their intentions of rerunning this gacha way earlier than it was expected to be rerunning on the English server, but also the fact that they just dropped it like they did. There were several opportunities and ways to actually drum up hype for the Aku no Tensei rerun. One of, if not the most anticipated collaboration, if not gacha in the entire game. I would genuinely say from my own personal experience that Aku no Tensei is one of the most beloved gachas that they have ever released. And just shadow dropping it without any fanfare when you had several opportunities to actually drum up the hype and announce the gacha in advance just makes it baffling to me, as it gave current loyal players no time to farm for crystals or decide if they are going to spend money. And in addition, it also basically meant that there was no chance to actually get any returning players for the gacha, because players who have left the game had no time to be made aware of the gacha's return, reinstall the game and start getting into the gameplay again. Which is just shooting yourself in the foot with such a monumental rerun as the second rerun of the Memories of Wrongdoings gacha is. And I do think we will see this in the revenue, as this gacha could probably make an insane amount of money seeing how long it is since we saw the first rerun of it. But I digress. I don't have the data or like the background to back up my claims, and I'm sure there's some guy sitting with a lot of data over at Colorful Palette and Sega that knows what they're doing and think that this is the best way to get more money to Project Sekai. So instead of me rambling on about revenue and data I have no clue about, I'd rather hear what you guys' opinion are on February as a month, as well as the handling of the Aku no Tensei's second rerun. Are you excited for any of the events in February? Are you looking forward to any of the paid gachas, rerunning gachas, or maybe even the birthday gachas? I always love to hear your guys' opinions, even if I've had a lot less time to actually read and respond to comments over the last couple of months. Just keeping up with my rather grueling publishing schedule has been a monumental task. So while you're down there typing the comment, if you could consider subscribing, ringing the bell, leaving a like, and maybe even sharing this video with a friend, all of these things would help immensely in my growth as a channel. And in addition, I wanna extend a massive thank you to all of my patrons for continuously supporting me and giving me that little bit extra push that really helps in keeping me afloat. With an extra big and warm thank you to my append players being Bambi, Gabby C, Helen P 001 Star, Mia Marie 21, Opal Siren, Peterish, Shoop, and Veritas Woo. All of you guys are truly amazing for continuously supporting me and keeping my head above the water when my publishing schedule is as tight as it is. And if you wanna join them in supporting me that little bit extra for as low as $1 a month, the link to my Patreon will be down in the description. But if you cannot affording, subscribing is more than enough. With that, I have rambled far long enough both about February and Aku no Tensei, so for now, let's get out of here for the month.